Welcome to this week's edition of Black Authors Matter TV, where we interview the latest movers and shakers in the African American literary community. You'll meet some old friends, discover new ones, and stay abreast of the latest book developments around the country and even the world. So sit back and relax for the next 2 hours with Black Authors Matter TV co-hosts Gwen Richardson and Dr. Rhonda Lawson.
Good evening and welcome to the September 10th edition of Black Authors Matter TV. I'm Gwen Richardson, your host for tonight, along with my co-host. You need to unmute, Rhonda.
I told you I'm tired.
I know. We just got back from New York,
Yes.
and we're both still recovering. But we had a great time at the Harlem Book Fair, and we got to see some people that we hadn't seen in a while, which was really great. So it was overall a good event. We did get rained out at the end. So anyway, we have another amazing show for tonight. And I do want people, if they're watching, or for our guest that's coming on, people who need to watch the show, they need to be live on Facebook. Because the only people that are admitted in the Zoom, in the waiting room, are the guests that will be on camera. So sometimes that gets like, people don't get the communication about that. But anyway, we have a great lineup for tonight. And we are looking forward, we're only 5 weeks away from the National Black Book Festival. It's hard to believe it's upon us, but it's going to be great. And so we are... it's going to be very well attended, packed with stuff, people, the activities, information, networking. You're going to make connections. It'll be lifelong. So come out, put it on your calendar, make sure you attend. So we're going to admit our first guest, and he has a very interesting background. He is a photographer, and as I learned about his new book, I also learned that he's a Pulitzer Prize winning photographer. And awesome. I thought that was amazing because I didn't even realize that they gave the Pulitzer for photography. So his name is Ron Tarver, and he has a new book called The Long Ride Home, Black Cowboys in America. And I thought it was an amazing book. And so we invited him to be on the show. So thanks for being on Black Authors Matter TV.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me.
Thank you for being
so happy to be here.
Yeah. Now I think you may have two people that are in the Zoom because only the people on camera are admitted to the Zoom, and everybody else has to watch it on Facebook.
Okay.
So there are two names I don't recognize. I don't know if they're connected with you, Kristen and Susan. Are either of them sound familiar? No. Anyway, okay. I didn't know because you're in this time slot, and sometimes that happens. People think that they share the Zoom. But anyway, welcome to the show. And
thank you.
First, we want to see, do you have a copy of your book with you?
I do, right here.
Yeah. Wonderful.
That's it.
And I thought it's such an eye-catching cover of the book. And
that's a beautiful cover.
It is.
Oh, thank you.
Who's the? Oh, I think we were about to ask the same thing.
Yeah, who decided on the picture? Like who
is this young man on the picture?
Yes. Well, who is it? But also who decided out of all of your photographs that would be the one?
Well, so it was a long process to select, one photo for the cover. We went through about 20,000 slides to get to this one. And to be honest, this wasn't my choice. But I think the more the designer, his name's David Skulkin, he's out in Santa Fe. He's the one that laid out the book. He picked this picture, and then we asked a bunch of other people how do they feel about this picture, and everybody agreed with it. So, I mean, I've been looking at these pictures for so long. I have no objectivity anymore at all about any of these pictures. So
yeah, sometimes you need a third eye.
Oh
look at it, second opinion, because if it's a personal project, you can be too close to it.
Right.
Yeah, especially with creatives and art, any kind of art.
Yeah.
So now, Were these photos taken over a long period of time? You said there were 40,000.
Well, there were 20,000. There were 20,000 slides taken. Now, some of those are the sky and my feet and things like that. You throw all those out, but there were probably, we probably edited about maybe 15 to 12,000. We edited from that amount, and then even we just started from there. But this project started in 1993. And it's been, now I haven't shot every single year in that 30-year period. It's been, spotty here and there, but for the most part, it's been a 30-year project, either exhibiting the images or working on images, or, and now just lately I've shot video. I was down in Houston last year and made some video, some cowboys down there, which I'm hoping to put to probably Instagram or Facebook, one of the two.
Okay. Houston is where I am. That's
Oh,
where
yeah.
you're based at. And I was going to ask you, my next question was, had you been to the Houston Rodeo? Were any of your pictures from that?
Yeah. I didn't go to the Houston Rodeo, but I spent a lot of time in Houston and around Houston and in Texas and Beaumont, places like that. Nothing against rodeos. I mean, I definitely spent time in rodeos, but I wanted the photographs to be more beyond rodeos. I wanted it to be about the lifestyle and the people that live, Black people that sort of live that have this Western heritage. And that's what I wanted the book to be about, more so than, I mean, I've photographed so many rodeos, I can't tell you.
So this is like the everyday life of a Black cowboy.
Exactly. And the Black, just Black people, just, I mean, I grew up in Oklahoma, and so I had relatives that had ranches, and, there was a rodeo arena just a couple of blocks from my house, literally, so, I grew up, riding horses, like the people that had horses right across the sort of the alley from us had horses, so we would go out and ride horse. I didn't even think about it. It wasn't anything like, it wasn't a question to me that there was a such thing as this Black experience and Western experience. But it wasn't until that the story ran in the Philadelphia Inquirer. I did a story in the Philadelphia Inquirer on Black cowboys in Philadelphia. And when that story ran, I got more letters from people saying, we didn't know that there were Black cowboys,
Wow.
And I was just flummoxed. I was like, how can you not? It just really took me aback that people were so responsive that way. Not that they were negative, but they just didn't know. Mm-hmm. So I asked my editors if I could go out and maybe do a thing for Black History Month. They cut me loose, and I did stories for Black History Month. We did a 5-part series, and then National Geographic saw it and asked me to shoot it for them. So I shot it for them. So it just kept rolling and rolling and rolling that way, and that's how I got built up so many slides.
Wow.
I'm just wondering how, with so many photos, how do you narrow it down to the ones that actually make the book? Because
yeah.
It just seems like it's like choosing your favorite child, because all of them have a certain beauty to them. All of them meant something to you, or else you wouldn't have taken the photos.
Yeah. I mean, I could show you. I mean, I have books back here just of, I went through so a lot of this happened during COVID. And I went through and pulled out all the pictures. I had them in a big Tupperware container in my storage unit, in the little yellow boxes, and so I pulled them all out and just started scanning them, just scanning, and then cataloging everything in a database, and then matching those up to the actual slides in a notebook. So, I mean, I could show you a notebook real quick. Excuse my studio. This is where I live. It's
No, we get to see your home where you work.
Yeah, this is
you're lucky you can't see all the mail behind me.
Yeah.
Right. Most people, where they work, isn't necessarily pristine,
Oh yeah, no. This is far from pristine. But I say a messy studio is a happy studio,
There you go.
But so these are some of the slides. So this is just one book, and they're all, numbered.
Oh, okay, wow.
So, and then back there, more books. So we just started going through them, and you know, to get to your question, it was really I guess I had a friend help me with it. Her name's Elizabeth Chris Chang. She was a editor at National Geographic, and she had recently retired. I asked her if she could help me with editing through everything, and so we just started going through it and making little folders on the computer, and you know, doing it that way. And we got it down to about 500, and then from there it got really tough, because that's when you know,
Yeah.
the old saying goes, you have to kill your darlings. That's when you really have to, you
Yeah.
know, get down to that 150. That was tricky. So, you know, and there were some pictures that I had fallen in love with, and that nobody else saw a potential in for the project that we wanted to do. So I had to let some things go. But I think it turned out really well. You know, the book's not in any sort of narrative structure. It's
I was
basically
gonna ask
just,
that.
it's built around just really, you know, beautiful images of this lifestyle. That's what I wanted.
And all of the photos are captioned?
No, they're not.
Oh,
They're not. They're all so if you see this, they're all, you know, they don't have any captions on them.
Okay.
So it just has the place where it is.
Okay.
So
Does it have a narrative on the opposite page?
I'm sorry.
Is there a narrative on the opposite page?
No, there's no
Oh, okay.
yeah, that's what it
It's
is.
a coffee table book.
Yeah, it's a coffee table book. It's 9.5 by 11, I think.
Okay.
And it has, you know, just basically the place where it is.
Okay.
That's it.
And did you take pictures all over the country? Did you go outside the country? Um, which states did you
Yeah.
focus
Yeah.
on?
Yeah, I traveled all over the country. I went from California to Philadelphia to Pennsylvania, basically. You know, I went to Chicago, California, Texas, Oklahoma, where were some other places? A
was
few
there a
other.
place that you went to that maybe you had no idea that there were black cowboys there and you were surprised?
Well, I mean, I went there because I knew there were, you know, because I did my
Oh,
research. You know, I just didn't
Okay.
fly in without any sort of, you know, arrow to
of
point
course
me.
not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
But
no,
I just wonder if there was a city that may have surprised, like, wow, I didn't even think there was that community there.
yeah. Oh, well, yeah. I mean, for sure. I mean, but a lot of it was just word of mouth. You know, you go to a place and you start asking questions and say, oh, you need to go see Betsy Bramwell in Stillwater, Oklahoma. Yeah, I didn't know, you know, didn't know Betsy at all. Or you need to see David Cormier down in Beaumont, Texas. You know, I mean, it was just that kind of thing. You know,
Okay.
it was just people just saying, oh, you need to go there and do this. You need to go there and do that. So.
So it's like the deeper you got into the project, the more you started meeting people and the more you were referred to people.
Oh yeah. I mean, you know, I'm a journalist by trade. I mean, that's what I
Yeah.
do. You know, that's what journalists do. You just sort of follow leads and go where the
Right.
lead takes you. So,
Right. And it's a community that's connected, uh, but it wouldn't be connected to people who aren't within the cowboy network.
right.
So once you start talking to people, they know who's
Oh yeah.
prominent in their community.
Oh yeah. You know, and so especially around rodeos, you know, a lot of these guys rodeo together. You know, whether in
Right.
Texas or Oklahoma or Kansas or wherever, they just know each other. So,
Yes. Mhm.
you know, it's just it's almost like one big family, more or less. You know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So yeah, people just know, they just know each other.
That's
Yeah.
awesome, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. In
And I can see
Houston,
that.
something that surprises people, I'm not from here, but I've been here many years. But like I live in a subdivision, like a fairly new development, in the last 15, 20 years. But down the street is a horse farm.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's not uncommon to see horses grazing next
Oh
to
yeah.
a strip mall. It's just they're
Hmm.
everywhere, and there's a vibrant just cowboy and horse culture
Oh
in
yeah.
in parts of, well, the whole state, but even with Houston being a metropolis, there's still lots of horse
Oh
culture here.
yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I photographed a woman. Her name is Molly Stevenson, and she
Oh, I know
has,
Molly. I
you know,
know
Ma.
for years. I met Molly when I first went in business years ago
Oh yeah,
in my 20s. And the only time
Wow.
I've ever been on a horse was at Molly's ranch.
that's funny. Well, I mean, literally, I talked to Molly yesterday. I sent her a book. I'm trying to find her picture, but she's in here. I photographed her wedding 30 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I
Wow.
went down to photograph her wedding. Somebody told me that, oh, you got to see Molly Stevenson's getting
Yes,
married, you know?
yes,
And
yeah.
I went down and photographed her wedding. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Molly's,
haven't talked to her in a long time. In fact, I wasn't, she came across my mind recently and I was gonna look up and then I got distracted. But she's probably in the horse culture here, she's really a phenom.
oh,
She's
yeah.
like in the Houston area, she's everybody knows Molly.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
And her
awesome.
ranch has been a, a fixture for
Yeah.
decades. I
Yeah.
think she inherited a ranch, if
She
I'm
did
not
well from her
mistaken.
mother, because
Right.
it's Molly Stevenson Jr. That's
Okay.
her real name. And her mother was, sort of the matriarch of the ranch down there. But
Okay.
so yeah, there's the picture of her feeding a goat.
Wow.
Wow.
I
And that
love
was
this.
that was during the wedding time when I was down there for she photographed her wedding. And then I went back last year, and now she raises Watusi cattle, which are
Oh,
just unbelievable. These cattle that have like 8-foot horns, they're unbelievable. Yeah,
oh boy. Yeah, it's
yeah,
just it's a small world.
yeah,
It is a
yeah,
small world.
yeah.
So in your book project, how were you able to get the interest? Like, did you have any difficulty getting a publisher interested in a book
Ugh,
along these lines?
I won't even start to tell you how difficult it was to find it. So when I first started this, when I first got it in my head that I wanted to do a book, I had done a book before. I'd done a book on African American veterans that with a friend of mine. We did a book that did really well actually. It was published by HarperCollins, so it was a big commercial press. And so I thought, well, I have some street cred now. I can, go out and I can pitch this project again. When I first pitched it, I couldn't get anybody to look at it. In fact, I had one editor in New York tell me there's no such thing as black cowboys.
Wow.
And and I
Wow.
said, well, I got about
Wow.
20,000 slides that says there is, you know.
Wow.
And then when I tried it again, I started pitching it again, got the same response. One person in New York said, with a big publishing house, said that I don't think this has legs beyond the Hudson River, meaning that nobody'd be interested in this beyond the Hudson, which meant in speak and that kind of speak meant that he just didn't want to do it,
Right.
you know, and you can imagine why. So it's just it's faced a lot of negativity to the point where I just pretty much gave up after a while.
I think that's maybe we could thank the book and then ultimately the TV show Queen Sugar, because it put more of a light on African American rural life. Everything is not urban and
Hmm.
cityfied, so to speak, that there is actually a vibrant community of African Americans who are living
Yeah.
on farms, who are tilling the land, who
Oh yeah.
are real cowboys. So
Yeah.
I think that this book kind of adds to that narrative, and it's very surprising to me that even after the popularity of Queen Sugar, that there are still people who believe that there aren't black
Oh
cowboys.
yeah. And I just think some people just don't want to see it.
Right.
I mean, if you think about like how the legend of the cowboy sort of developed in this country with, John Wayne and all the Western movies and stuff like that, you didn't see black people in there. There were a
Yeah.
few
Mhm.
that there were a couple of black Westerns actually, but they weren't in the mainstream. You really have to look for them.
Right.
But so the idea of the if you look on Amazon now, the two top selling photo books are cowboys, but they're cowboys like out in the plains, out in the range, sort of that mystique of the cowboy.
Or it
Right.
might be because of the
Right.
popularity of Yellowstone too.
Well, yeah, I mean,
The
yeah,
show.
but
Mhm.
cowboys
To do with
cowboys
that
have
too.
it's always been a popular subject,
Yeah.
always.
Hmm.
But I think when you throw black people in there, it kind of disrupts the apple cart a little bit, you know. And
Yeah.
our legacy wasn't necessarily out there on the big plains. I mean, we were working in the stockyards and things like that. We were doing the dirty work. That's where the whole cowboy came from.
Right.
And so we were out there doing the work. We weren't out, wearing the real fancy chaps and herding cattle across the plains and stuff. I mean, we were doing some hard work, you
Right.
know. And the people that have these farms now, I mean, my family has a farm. My family has a farm in Quitman, Texas, and that's where my father came from. And he was not my father, but my great grandfather was a freed slave, landed in Texas, found oil on there, and started up a big farm and ranch down there. And so now we have a big family reunion every year in Quitman, Texas. And it's my family's really proud of that. So, but it's not like out in Wyoming with like, a ranch the size of Rhode Island. It's 400 acres that they worked.
Yeah, that's a
And
lot of
that's
acreage.
that's a lot of
Yeah.
acreage, but still. It's so, like, I guess, with all that to say that the heritage that that I feel that black people have sort of exists in these smaller communities, and it's a really proud heritage, and we should be proud of that. and
Absolutely.
uh and it's just beautiful. I think it's just a lovely experience to be in that. I just met some of the warmest people, nicest people, genuine people doing this story.
Yeah. One thing when you were talking about trying to get interest in the book, and this has come up with other people, with other books, and just things that we've heard from authors over the years, um, which is unfortunate, but uh, there are there's a lot of power among the little clique of New York publishers
Hmm.
to negate reality or to shape reality. Because I've had authors tell me editors have told them about books and mostly novels, but that their characters either weren't black enough.
Hmm.
The people telling them that weren't black,
Yep.
but they were telling them their characters were not black enough, or they weren't realistic,
Hmm.
as if they know
Right.
what's real for
Hmm.
black people.
Hmm. Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
mean, there's a yeah, I'm sorry.
but I'm glad you were able to finally get the project done. And I'm sure it was just because of your persistence and the willingness to not give up.
Yeah. Well, I will say this, that if the book had come out when I wanted it to, like if I hadn't had luck when I first, tried this back in the 90s, I think I would have missed this moment, because I think we're in a particular moment now in just popular culture. When you think of everything that's out there, with from Lil Nas X to Beyonce to all the Bass Reeves movie, and the Concrete Cowboy movies. So I think we're in a really the book is sort of positioned now purely by luck within the zeitgeist of popular culture, thinking about Black
Right.
Westerns, you know.
Yeah.
So now I'm happy that it came out now. I mean, yeah, it was a long, frustrating, 25 years, but I'm really happy now that it came out when it did. So
Yeah, sometimes that timing can be very important. And also because of the social media, you can share it with more people. Just
mhm.
the imagery, on Facebook or Instagram, um, that you will reach people that you wouldn't have been able to reach
Oh, for
in the
sure.
90s.
Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
But
yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just really lucky. I mean, I've been posting on Instagram and posting on, Facebook, more Instagram, but just meeting people from literally from all over the world, which it's fascinating. I still, I'll be sitting there playing on my phone and scrolling through and thinking, I'm actually doing work here, just playing with my phone. But,
yeah, now you have a traveling exhibition.
mhm.
And so we want to give a couple of minutes to talk about that.
Yeah,
It opens up, it debuts on Friday
Friday. Yeah, yeah.
in
We're
Norman,
gonna.
Oklahoma.
My wife and I are going to go down. Yeah, it's going to be at Norman, Oklahoma, at the Depot Gallery. So that'll be the sort of the debut opening for it, and then it's going to come back to the Philadelphia area at a college, a community college in Montgomery County, and then it's going to go to Stockton University. It's going to go to the Strong Museum, or not the Strong Museum, but the um, Hudson River Museum in New York. So, and we haven't even really sort of publicized it yet. So we've already gotten like 4 different locations for it to be without even, this is just sort of hearsay. So we're going to start sending out applications. I really want to get it into some colleges and universities, especially HBCUs
Absolutely.
yeah. So
Mhm.
that's kind
Especially
of the goal.
the A&T colleges or
Mhm.
what is it?
The technology,
Te-
Yeah.
Yeah, the
And the
agriculture.
A&Ms, the
Yeah,
mhm,
A&Ms.
A&Ms, yeah.
Yes.
mhm.
Hmm. Yeah. So yeah, we have a long list that we're going to be sending those proposals out to. So yeah, so hopefully, but I'd like to get it all over the country. We have some beautiful cases for it. A friend built for me so it can travel. And the pictures are big. They're 36 inches long. They're big images, framed
Okay.
really nicely. So
So how many photos roughly are in the exhibition?
there's 40.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
So there's 40 yeah.
Oh, so
have
well,
you
we're
tried
gonna
the
need you to
buffalo
come to
soldier?
Baltimore and go to the Reginald F. Lewis Museum.
Yeah, let me know.
Yeah,
Hook me up.
that's a beautiful museum. Hey,
Yeah.
I mean, I'll see what I can do. I'll make some phone calls.
I'm gonna write that down now.
Yeah, or the Buffalo Soldier Museum might be,
Hmm.
that's in Houston.
Hmm.
Uh, I'm sure that's something they will be interested in.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, actually we have some friends down there that some contacts that we're gonna start working. I mean, we haven't literally even
You haven't scratched
uh
the surface yet?
yeah, I mean it's been it's been such I've been so grateful to have as much coverage as we've had with the book so far, and that's
Wonderful.
taken up a lot, you know. Between that and getting the exhibition ready and getting that shipped out and everything, it's been a whirlwind over the last month. And then I teach too. I teach at Swarthmore College, so
Right, you teach art, I
yeah,
believe.
I teach photography at Swarthmore College. So my
Okay.
classes are just starting now, so I have to
So you're a
all that.
busy man.
It's been busy.
Yeah, and the book just came out, so
Yeah,
a week ago, right?
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
that's great. We
yeah.
also have a African American museum here in Houston. I don't know if you knew about that.
I
So that's
do. Yeah,
okay. So
yeah.
Oh, we have a little African American museum too over in DC. It's just a little small building.
I've heard about that one. Yeah, yeah, I've heard about that one.
yeah, I was thinking about that too. So,
Yeah,
um, show the cover of the book one more time,
yeah,
and just for our audience. So, if
yeah,
they want to go out and purchase this beautiful book
yeah,
about Black cowboys,
yeah.
uh,
The
it's
long
called
ride home.
Long Ride Home,
Yeah.
and it's congratulations on
All
releasing.
right. All right. Well, thanks so much for having me. This has been fun. I
Well,
enjoyed
thank you
it.
for being here. We appreciate all you're doing.
Oh,
And I need to get a copy of that book because the pictures are just beautiful.
No, thanks.
I'm trying to think of who to gift it to. That's what in my mind I'm thinking
keeping
about.
it.
Yeah.
Have a great night.
All right, you too. Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, that was about the Black cowboys in America. It's an amazing story. So our next guest is, he goes by the name Donnie P. I'm not sure what his last name is, but that's what he goes by, Donnie P. And he is an entrepreneur. He calls himself a serial entrepreneur. And he also is a coach, a professional coach, and a successful business owner. And he has an intriguing business that he does, and it's in the area of cannabis. And I'm wondering about that because he's in Houston. So
So
I
you gonna
believe
drive over
you're
there?
based in Houston. And so, no, I wanted to know how you get around the laws. But anyway, and he's going to be at the National Black Book Festival. So you'll see him again, Rhonda, next month.
Okay.
He is going to
I'll be looking for you, Donnie
his
P.
book.
Thank you. I'll be for you also.
So welcome to Black Authors Matter TV.
Thank you, Gwen, for having me. I love to talk about my book, and I look forward to this fabulous interview I'm about to have.
Well, we're looking forward to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, your book is Health and Wealth is Always Green. And I don't know if that's is green a metaphor, or
I thought he was talking about money, but I think he might be talking about
could
cannabis.
be talking about something else. So anyway, first I see I guess that's your book cover behind you on the wall.
Yes.
Okay. And it came out a little less than a year ago, so it's still fairly new. And tell us what the book is about first, and
Well,
what made you write the book.
The book is about basically how me and my brother got into the cannabis industry over in Louisiana, where I'm from. And it's medicinal use cannabis, where our clients go to a doctor and get a recommendation in order for them to come by our dispensary and get cannabis to help their medical condition. In my book, I go in great lengths on how it was very successful in the marketplace. And I teach people, if they want to get into the cannabis industry, I break it down from start to finish and how they can scale their business. And basically that's what the book is all about, is having a fabulous run on Amazon, sold in multiple countries, Italy, France, Germany, Canada. So it's doing more than what I expected to do.
Well, that's
you're from
always good.
Louisiana. Yeah.
Excuse me?
I say you're from Louisiana.
Yes.
Me too. Which part?
I'm from Jeanerette.
Oh, Jeanerette. Okay.
Yeah,
I've not been there, but I'm familiar.
Yeah, south of Lafayette, you know.
Yes.
Little small town. You're not missing nothing.
No, I'm from the big city. I'm from New Orleans.
Oh Lord.
Well, I will say this though. I often say that every entrepreneur, every business owner needs a book. And what you have done is the textbook case as to why a business owner should have a book. You chronicled how you got started in the business, and then you give people tips on how they can start their own business.
Correct. I wanted to go from, I've been an entrepreneur all my life. I never held to 9 to 5. I never been on a plantation a day in my life. So all I know is entrepreneurship and how to be successful in any field you get into, because I started off in my first book I wrote, How to Catch a Mouse with No Cheese. I went about in describing how I became a millionaire at 21. and how I lost it at 25. And basically me and my brother, I went a long time without money. And the creator put me through different things, which I needed to be humbled. And basically I just we and him started in the elderly care business, one of the best businesses I ever started. And made that my second $1 million company. I love dealing with the elderly. And we wanted something for a change, man. And then we got into the cannabis industry. So we was one of 9 license holders in the whole state of Louisiana when we started. So.
Okay. Well, we're kindred spirits because I didn't start off with my first thing being in business because I went to college and then I got a job. But since I was 25, I have not had a boss. I've been self-employed. I've been in business.
Oh,
what y'all not gonna do is look down on us people who be on the plantation. Okay?
No, I'm not at all, because I tell people it's a different lifestyle. It's a different mindset, and it's not always easy. And as you described, Donnie, when you're young, you just I just want to be in business. You don't, but you don't know what you don't know. That's what you run into. And then you can be a little bit, you can be ambitious and sometimes you can't see things until after they happen.
So. Yes, you're right. I didn't come from money, so.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah,
trial and error. But I was, I was middle class. But I did have some experience from my dad, but I was away from home when I went in business. I was 1,200 miles away from home. Wow. So I had to just learn by doing.
Yeah.
And I was always a hard worker. And when you're a hard worker, you can attract investments. That's what happened for me. People saw I was a hard worker. I attracted investors. So, it's a different lifestyle, but I wouldn't trade it because, after a certain point, you really can't work for somebody.
No.
Lose those employee skills. And you like to, make decisions. So, but congratulations on that. Now, for your care business, do you still have that, or did you sell it, or how did you transition from that to your cannabis business?
What I done was I gave it to my sister, and I turned it over to them. They're doing a fabulous job. And just like anything else, you get burned out, so I spent my time doing that, and I just couldn't deal with it no more, man. But other than that, I wanted a new venture, just like most entrepreneurs. I want the next challenge, so, and then we found it. So it was quite a challenge, to say the least.
I know the cannabis industry kind of boomed, as soon as it was legalized. A lot of people wanted to get into the cannabis industry. They wanted to start at the bottom and work their way up. Some people were buying stocks. Some people wanted to start their business. Some people were doing CBD oils and so forth. How did you choose exactly which route you wanted to take?
Well, me and my brother started out, man, we didn't know what we wanted to do in cannabis. All we know, we was going to make a difference in the community, number one, and we was going to make a whole bunch of money. So we didn't know nothing about it, just like anything else. So one of our good friends, old friends, one of our brothers called us, and I say, man, y'all want to get into the cannabis business? I'm like, okay, cool. Because, we grew up in country hood. I grew up around weed, what I'm saying? So, it wasn't new to me, So he's like, man, do y'all want to get into it? And you're like, yeah. Because Louisiana is divided into regions. So, and because we from the Acadiana region, that spot was already taken. So we done the Houma region, man, and it was very competitive. They had people there that had way more money than us, And man, we gave great presentation, and the state loved us, and we was one of the best presentation ever seen. So it was a lot of hard work, and it paying off right now. It didn't pay off in the first couple of years. Me and my brother didn't get paid for like 4 years. So just like any business, man. So it was rough starting off.
So how did you stay encouraged to go without getting paid for 4 years and you stuck with it? What was it that kept you going?
Number one, what kept me going was the creator. Two things was the creator and discipline. Those are the two things. When nothing goes right, you got to have faith. And once you have faith, everything else is going to fall in place. A lot of people talk faith, but they don't really know and understand it until you put in circumstances that's really going to challenge you. So, in discipline, as a business owner, I mean, I've been through the struggles before. It wasn't nothing new. It was hard, but I'm like, we're going to stick with it. We're not giving up because we know that license was very valuable to have. So, and that's what made us keep going in the industry, man. And it just picked up, because it was highly regulated, highly regulated. So.
So when you got your first start, you said you had to do a presentation to the state. I guess it's some kind of state agency or
yes,
that licenses people to sell the medicinal cannabis.
Yes, Louisiana Board of Pharmacy. Yes, we done a presentation in front of her.
And then how long did your license last?
Before we got notified, we've been awarded. After the presentation, it lasted it didn't take long, but about a month. They had notified all the awards that was given to each company. I still have that. They wrote it in the paper. I laminated it and mounted it in my bedroom. It was a big accomplishment to even get that far in the process. So,
well, what I meant was, how long does your license last?
Oh, it lasts every year. You got to renew it.
Okay.
So it's not
It's not like a 10-year. It's not like a 10-year thing.
No, like you can renew it. There's people who's not going to get you out of business because, they know how hard it was to acquire a license. They're not like any state agency, no Medicaid, Medicare, or stuff like that. I've been in that industry. But, you just renew it, you pay your fee, and you keep going, basically, unless you sail on out, because they got two people that sold their licenses, their companies.
Okay. So do you all grow the cannabis, or do you all get it from the grower or whatever they call it? Are you all a distributor? Are you all a retailer? What part of the chain are you all in?
We are in the retail chain. In the state law, we can only buy cannabis from two companies. It was ran by the universities first, LSU and Southern universities. So the state kept the money inside the two universities, and we deal with Good Day Farms, and the Liberal Healthcare deal with Southern University. So that's the only way we can buy cannabis products to sell is from them. So we're on the retail side. I'm glad we're not on the grower side of the market, because it's a ton of money, and to grow cannabis, it takes a science to grow.
Absolutely.
So I learned that from one of my good homeboys. Used to work for Monsanto's, and he graduated from Southern. He was high level. He just got out the business. He's like, Donnie, whenever they start growing, I'll help you all out because I know what I'm doing. So it takes a lot of money.
And so the retail part, do you all have a walk-in retail, or do you basically do it through shipping?
We have a walk-in retail because shipping is still federally illegal. You have to come on in to the dispensary. We just opened up our second dispensary now. Next year, we open up our third dispensary in our region. So right now, we're scaling the business. That's how good the industry is.
Okay. And so to mail it is still illegal because that's through the mail, federal.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Just want to get some facts out there for people who may be interested.
That's absolutely. And that was the reason why I asked the question that I asked earlier, because there may be, such as myself, when jumping into the cannabis industry first became popular and everybody was talking about doing it, I had no concept of how they were doing it. I didn't know if they were trying to grow it themselves and then sell it, if they were trying to import it, or what they were. I didn't know what they were doing. I just knew that I didn't smoke it. I didn't want any part of it. So as time went on and I started to learn more about it, it's like, okay, now I kind of see what they're doing. And so that was one of the reasons why I asked you what made you look into this particular industry, and then how did you choose the path that you were going to take once you were in the industry? Because there were a lot of nuances that we just don't realize.
Yeah, well, like I tell people when I give my interviews, every state is totally different, right? So you have to get with your state regulations department and see what their laws are, see what the rules of the game are. Once you see what the rules of the game is, just execute your plan. So either in two ways, the cannabis industry is so huge, a lot of stuff you can do inside the industry. Either you're on a producer side or retail side, you know. So it all depends on what you want to do in the industry. And to get into the industry, it's a lot of money. So don't let nobody fool you. It takes money. But you can definitely make the money. Like I tell people, weed sells itself. So you ain't got to do too much marketing here, pal. You know.
You got a point there. You got a point.
Yeah, we were in New York over the weekend for the Harlem Book Fair.
We smelled it everywhere.
Everywhere you went, you could smell it everywhere. Like, you know, anywhere, walking down the sidewalk, you could smell it everywhere. But the lady who you'll meet her, she's going to be at the book festival. But she was from she's from New York, and she said that you know, it's legal in New York. But she said that they're planning to make some changes because they really couldn't control it, because people are still selling it illegally, even with it being legal. And so it didn't pan out the way that they thought it was going to.
They started off wrong, to be honest with you. Okay. So in order to get a growing cannabis industry, you got to get rid of the illegal activity. Because if I'm investing that kind of money to start off, especially in New York, because I stayed on top of that. I had a friend from New York, and I was going to bring my business up there. And once I heard about the illegal stuff still going on, I'm like, no, I'm not doing this again. So, you know, it's business at the end of the day.
Yeah, it is. As a matter of fact, Rhonda, if you don't mind me sharing what Rhonda had her books at the Harlem Book Fair, and a gentleman came up and said he was going to buy her books, but he needed to go sell some weed first, and then he was going to come back.
I was mad. I was waiting for him to come back to buy the book. He didn't come back. I guess he didn't sell that weed.
No, Rhonda, he didn't sell the weed, baby. Like they said in New Orleans, baby.
It was hilarious. It was some interesting, you know, New York
Very
has
interesting characters.
Everybody.
Oh yes, they got that.
New York has everything, and it's all in a 2-block radius. So anyway, I find it to be really amazing. Now, for the medicinal weed, a person has to have a prescription from their doctor, right?
Yes.
So you're almost like a pharmacy, a weed pharmacy.
Yes, ma'am. We totally are. In Louisiana, we don't use the word prescription. By law, we are only
Okay.
allowed to use the word recommendation. So
Oh, okay. Okay.
that's what we use. And they walk in, and whatever the doctor wants them to have, they get. So
Okay. Now, is
with
it covered by insurance?
no insurance, just
Okay,
strictly cash,
just in cash. Okay.
or they can use their debit card.
Right, but not credit.
Oh no, we got bills to pay.
Well, I mean a
But
credit card.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm
Okay,
about to
that's
say
what
credit. Oh
you know,
no.
sometimes
no,
you
not an
can't.
IOU.
Oh, okay, all right.
Oh,
You gotta specify yourself, Gwen. You know.
because you said debit, and so I was saying debit or credit. Because like for example, you can't buy a money order with a credit card. You have to have a debit card or cash.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're right.
So that's what I was saying. But I was saying, are you all giving credit? Letting people run a tab, so to speak.
Now, one of our viewers, Tony Benita, wants to know, how do you know how much to use?
Well, it all depends on what the doctor recommend for you. He checks you out. And also, we also do a telemedicine. So they put that in the law also. So if they don't want to go into the doctor, they can also do telemed. On our company website, we have different doctors and telemedicine doctors, which our clients call, and they get evaluated, and we take it from there.
Okay, so how do you sell it weight wise?
Ounce, half ounce, but
Dime
it all
bag.
depends on if you want gummies. Well, with flowers, we sell about an ounce and a half ounce. Whatever you want, we got it for you. Whatever you want.
Well, in the few minutes that we have left, what would you say are 3 misconceptions about the cannabis industry?
3 misconceptions I see in the industry is, number 1, it had a stigma on it. That was number 1. That was all wrong. The amount of people we helped is amazing. I'm very happy about it. I don't really care about money. Money come and go. But helping people make a difference in their life, that's really what it's all about with me. Number 2, the misconception is the effects it has on the body. That was another misconception. Oh, they get high, they lose their mind, or they go crazy. No, that's not true. Always keep an open mind, do your research. They got a lot of information, medical information on the internet you can look up. And number 3, the misconception is it's a closed market. They don't want certain people in the industry. No, a lot of people, a lot of regulatory bodies want a lot of people in the industry, especially minorities. That was another misconception. Oh, it's only for rich people and stuff like. No, if you give it the right people, you can get into the industry. So those are the 3 misconceptions about cannabis. That and one more I want to add is a lot of doctors want to give cannabis to their patients, but it's still federally illegal because doctors know the benefits of cannabis. A lot of people want to get off those pills, and cannabis can be a natural healer for them. So those are the misconceptions about the industry.
Okay, so as far as the doctors prescribing it, most of the time you hear about it as a remedy for cancer treatments, for the
Yes.
nausea from cancer treatments. But what other maladies do they
Okay, we
or recommend cancer?
also we have also PTSD, eating disorders, arthritis, insomnia, you can't sleep at night, It's a whole different variety, and I just named 4 of them off the top of my head. Besides cancer, it can help with your ailments. I'm a big proponent of cannabis because the emails I got with people that we have helped is amazing. So I'm a big proponent of it.
So I would ask if you use your own product, but I won't because I'll just I just threw that out there to be funny. But anyway, you don't have to answer. So I won't answer. You don't have to answer.
Man, don't get suckered into it. That's not our business.
I'm not going to entertain that right now, Gwen. I'll tell you when I see you.
Okay.
All right, now, speaking of seeing us, so you are coming to the National Black Book Festival next month. I can't believe it's already next month.
Isn't it? I mean,
time goes by fast.
No,
so I'm guessing you're bringing copies of your book. Are there any other surprises or anything we should know about?
I'm gonna bring copies of my book, and also what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give away like 50 to 100 copies of my book. Just give it away for free because I want people to be entrepreneurs and learn from me. And if you don't believe me, go on Amazon, look at Health and Wealth is Always Green, and you can read other people's reviews about my book. That way, with some people, we have to show them rather than tell them. So I plan on giving away my book at the show, at the book fest. And also, if people want a signed autographed copy of my book, they would have to pay $10. But other than that, if they don't want a signed copy, I'm giving it away for free to the first 50 people.
So it's free to the first 50 people, but if one of those 50 people wants a signed copy, they pay $10.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
And does your book tell people how to get into the cannabis industry? Is that what the main theme of the book is?
Yes, it does. The first part tells you how to get into the industry. Second part, how to maintain. Once you get into the industry, how to maintain it. And the third part is how to scale your business, right? How to grow it. And because it's a very lucrative industry. And once you get into it, you can retire because I'm close to it. So other than that, man, but I'm an entrepreneur by heart.
Well, yeah, entrepreneurs don't retire. They just look for another opportunity.
Yeah, I'm an entrepreneur, man.
We call ourselves retiring, but we don't. We call ourselves relaxing, but we're looking for the next opportunity. It happens.
Yeah.
I'm a whole retiree with a full-time job in the business right now, so I understand.
Yeah. Y'all, both of y'all know the process. So
yeah. Well, this has been really interesting. I think you're our first cannabis author that's been on. As far as
so honored and pleasure.
We've interviewed a lot of people, and it's always interesting when somebody discusses a topic that hasn't been discussed before, because we get to ask questions that people want to ask, and we didn't get any more online. Does it help with swelling? Someone asked that. This is the last.
To help with swelling, I would say get you some CBD instead of cannabis. Cannabis don't help swelling. Now, I'm not a doctor.
Right.
I can only tell you from what I hear.
The recommendations.
That's right. In Louisiana, in other states, they call it a prescription,
Okay. Well, thank you, Donnie P. We'll see you next month at the National Black Book Festival. And until then, keep on selling that cannabis.
You know I am.
Thank you. You have a great night.
Thank y'all, ladies.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye. So that was interesting. So
that was interesting.
Yeah, and you're right. On New York, I smelled weed every time I went outside.
Especially that crazy man that was standing behind us.
Yeah, it was interesting. New York is an interesting city. That's what I'll leave it at that. Anyway, our next
Yes.
guest is no stranger to Black Authors Matter TV. Her name is Julia Royston, and Julia is a publisher. She's an author. Every time I talk to her, she's published 50 more books at least, and and she's going to be at the festival again this year with her and some of her different books by different authors. She normally will bring a couple of our authors with her. And then she also facilitates the publishers panel that we have every year. And we normally have 5 or so publishers that talk about what they're looking for and how they can help people get their books published. So Julia, and she's doing her own seminar. But anyway, Julia, welcome back to Black Authors Matter TV.
Thank you so much. So
I try
glad
to
to
have
be
you on at
here.
least once a year.
I know,
And
I
close to
know.
the festival is the best time because then you
I
get
know. It really, 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 really is. How are you ladies doing tonight?
Wonderful. How are you?
I'm
right.
good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah. So tell people what BK Royston does. BK
Okay.
Royston Publishing.
Okay,
What
so
what
BK
what is
Royston
that?
Publishing is a full service publisher. That means I normally tell people I can get the idea or something you've been mulling around in your head from idea to Amazon. And so everything in between, right now I do writing coaching for people, helping them guide them through the process of telling their story. Some people, of course, come to me with the story already done. Some people come to me, the story's done, the story's published, but it's not selling. So we do everything a little bit in between. BK Royston Publishing is 17 years old and is the faith-based and family-friendly. That's where the children's books and the inspirational books are, and everything faith-based and family-friendly. Royal Media and Publishing is my second company. It will be 8 years old in October, and that's where the mystery thrillers are, urban fiction, fantasy fiction, and all of that, where that is. And then the Book Business Boss Consulting is for people who may have self-published, or they need somebody with their team, or they published another way, but they still need a coach. I did it on my own. It didn't work out so well. Help, Julia, help. So I work with, I'm kind of a la carte at times. And so I work with people from all aspects, from those who traditionally published and then they want to self-publish on their own, or they want to be independent and they want to go back and forth and do a multiplicity of things. So my tag is I'm helping you get your message to the masses, turn your words into wealth, and be a book business boss.
I like the fact that you have segmented your publishing services so you can help a variety of authors, but you're very specific about where those authors fall.
Yes.
How far were you in your company before you realized you needed to make that separation?
Even though Royal Media is 8 years old, and then of course, so that's like 9 years in, but really they started asking me about 5 years in. And so I had to really, seek God about that, because I was, I'm a faith-based person. And I was like, I don't want to publish anything that is, discrediting my faith at all, and so I'm very specific about what I will publish and what I won't. I have Cadence Royal is my pen name on Royal Media and Publishing. So that'll tell you. So my government name is on BK Royston Publishing, and then my pen name is Royal Media and Publishing. So I'm an author there too as well. So therefore it was about 5 years. I mean, first off, it was like a whole 2 years before I published the first person, because I kept saying no. And then 5 or 6 years, they saw the brand, and that's kind of what we're going to be talking about. But they saw what I was publishing, and they realized, I don't know if my book fits in there. I mean, will you look at it? Yes, but I didn't have a brand for that. I really wanted it distinct. Slice and dicer mystery thrillers, murder mystery thrillers, and children's books. They might be able to be separated on the same table, but the same brand, it could be, a little difficult. So probably about 5 or 6 years in, when I said, I just need a separate brand for that.
You know, your customers will tell you what is coming.
Exactly. Exactly. They will tell you. And I think that's
And
a
if you
part
listen
of,
to them, you have
yeah.
to be
Well,
listening.
and that's you're
Yeah.
absolutely right, because okay, so I put all my covers down, and so to date, Miss Gwen was teasing me, but she went too far off.
Now
Because
I wasn't teasing you because I
you
know.
went too far off, love. You went too far off, because I put all the things, like I've been in compilations, I've been, journals, because I'm high on the journal thing. The kids love we want to write our own story. I said, well, go ahead, boo. And we want butterflies, and we want unicorns, and we want cars, and so they've been dictating to me at the book fairs, and but all together it's 128. So yeah.
Okay, now what's the 128? What number is that?
Oh, that's everything. That's the compilations I've done that I've been
That's
in.
under Julia and your pen
BK
name.
Royston, Royal Media. That's mine.
Okay.
That's
That's
me.
you. Okay,
That's
just your
Cadence
book.
Royal and beat Julia Royston, not just BK
Oh.
Royston Publishing. BK Royston Publishing is about
Y'all
350.
three. Okay,
Yeah, about 400.
Okay, all right. Yeah, but every year you come on, the number is at least 50 more. I know from the company.
I'm not gonna deny it, because I'm still writing at this moment. I got 2 books I gotta do rewrites on right now, so I'm still working on it. And Dr. Rhonda knows I've been working on that for a while, but I'm helping other people, so but it'll be ready by the time I come. I'll bring it. Yeah.
Oh,
All
okay.
right, now that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you find the time in a 24-hour day to do all this?
Listen, I'm staying up late for y'all. I couldn't wait. I was like, I'll be up late.
Well,
But I normally am in
that's my
bed.
question, Julia, because
What?
I know you stay up late, and I stay up pretty late too, but I think you stay up a little later than I do.
Oh no, I'm
And
usually in bed by 8. My clients know, so they're looking at me
Oh,
going, "What the world was she doing still up?" Because I tell them I'm
oh.
in bed by
So you
8.
get
I'm
up real
usually
early.
oh yeah, I'm usually up
You're
between
early.
4, 6, 5,
yeah,
Okay.
7.
see
So I don't sleep.
that's what it is. See, I wind up staying up a little bit later. You go to bed a little later and wake up early.
Yes, I go
Yeah. See,
much
I've been
earlier.
going to bed later and trying to wake up early, and it's not working
Oh
for me.
no, no,
So
no. You still gotta get 6 or 7 hours, love. You can't. No, no, no. Now I stay up later, like now. And when we get off, I'll probably stay up another half an hour, just because I'm trying to get something done. But
Yeah.
I'll still get up early. Because see, I have the beauty of taking naps. Hey.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a night person. So at 3 or 4 in the morning, I am not. I'm out. That's my REM sleep.
You don't know your name, huh?
No, not at all. But I'm normally up until at least 1,
Oh no.
normally 2.
No,
See,
no, no.
so I get up around 9 because I do my own schedule.
Yeah.
I don't
Oh
have
yeah.
to be
Yeah.
somewhere. I don't have to be somewhere in the morning. And
That's a beautiful thing. That's a
it
beautiful.
is a beautiful
yeah.
thing. I know, because even when we had our store, I had to be there for that. I really have only been able to do this since we got out of the retail and we got more in the marketing. And I can do that anytime.
Right, and that's a
So
beautiful thing. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
so
wonderful.
it's and then I can work other things. When I need to run errands or whatever it is I have to do, I'm able to work that into my day. And
Right.
if I want to take a nap, like you said, I don't generally take naps except on Sunday. I grew up taking a Sunday nap
Oh
after
yeah.
church, and
No.
that's part of my every Sunday. I have to have a Sunday afternoon nap. This is what I do on Sunday.
It's hard for me to take naps. I could be completely exhausted and tell my family I'm going to lay down for a couple hours and take a nap. I might sleep for 5 minutes and then I'm up again. I cannot relax like that.
Oh.
I want
You
to.
have and I remember that too,
Mhm.
especially when I still worked a full-time job and
Yes.
working my business. I get that all day long, because you want to get as much done while you have the freedom to be able to do it, while you have
Hmm.
the opportunity to be able to do it.
And
So
I
that's
think you're exactly right. That's what it is for me, is if I know that I have a full-time job and there are certain things that I have to do for Meet the World Image Solutions. So
Right.
my body does not let me rest too long, because then I've lost 2 or 3 hours
Oh yeah, yeah,
that I
yeah.
could have gotten something done. And I know I have to go right back to work on Monday. So I'm squeezing every little bit of thing I have to do into the weekend. And I'm still going to church. I'm still doing the podcasts, because I do 2 of them, so, you try to get in what you can get in. And sometimes you look back like, I was trying to do 5 different things in 2
That's
hours.
right. Yeah, you don't know how you did all that. And now
Right.
full time, I still don't know how I did all that. But there's a will,
My
there's a
body
way.
talks to me, and like when I got back from New York, well, we went to New York. Me and Ronnie and I were in New York together. My flight left at 6 a.m. So I had to get to the airport. I left 4 a.m. for the airport. We went to bed at midnight or a little bit after midnight. You can't just fall asleep. So by
No.
the time I got to sleep, it was 1. I had to get up at 3:30 to leave. So I slept on the plane, but it's not the same. Sleeping on the
Oh
plane,
no.
Right.
When I'm on a plane, I'm out cold.
it's
I
not
don't I
sleep.
don't want nothing to drink. You can keep Brian, you eat my peanuts or cookies
Yeah,
or
I
whatever
didn't
they got.
no, well, I didn't do none of that. And I had a smooth flight coming back, thank goodness. But when
Yeah,
I got back home, I got a 3-hour nap. I had to get some sleep.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, you
So
gotta
but
get it done.
but we work when we can. We need to get rest because not having rest leads to stress. And so
Yes.
we need to work
Yeah.
that
It'll
rest.
tell on you. Your body will tell on you.
Yes, your body talks to you. So now you're going to be doing a seminar at the festival
Yes.
called uh
Write the
something
book that
building your
builds
brand.
the
So
brand.
yeah, talk about you building your
Love
brand in
that.
the book.
Okay, so most of the time when you say branding, and I know some authors are like, well, that's not me because I don't plan on having a business with my book. But I want you to really think about branding, because there's personal branding and business branding. And so, therefore, having a book that goes along with your business brand is a no brainer. I feel like every speaker, every coach, every ministry leader, every nonprofit needs to have a book. When I worked for a Fortune 500 company, those were the 2 things they gave us. They gave the book of the history and the foundational truths of the company, and they gave us a planner, a calendar. So therefore, each brand, each book, each business should have a book. But I also want you to think that book is still, we used to say, it's the business card. It tells us about you. So it doesn't matter if it's a children's book, it doesn't matter if it's poetry, because my first book ever was poetry. I haven't written another book of poetry. I've written poems, but I've never written another book of poetry since. So therefore, you're wanting to write a book that not only that you're passionate about, but Ms. Gwen talked about earlier, listening to your client and listening to the market. You want to make sure that you're in line with the market, because the Book Business Boss Consulting, the middle name is business. And this is a first and last book business. So therefore, you want to make sure that you're creating something that not only is what you're passionate about, and you should, and a business and money can come to you if you're passionate about it. You're the leader, you're the spearheader of the message of that book, it'll happen. But if you write something that is not only something you're passionate about, but goes along with your purpose and your mission and goals of potentially your life first, because you're always going to be speaking about your book. I don't care. I mean, that's
Right.
a forever thing. But also, that this also could be a calling card for other people to partner with you. So therefore, other nonprofits, if you don't want a business, there may be a nonprofit who would be interested in your book for the people in their community or the people that they serve. They have a grant for it. They pay you for 50 copies or 50,000 copies. I don't care. But then you move forward and you think, what? That could happen? Yes, it can really happen. So therefore, having a book that meets a need, answers a question, not just entertaining, that can do it too, but not just entertaining, but writing a book that really can take it to the next level and get the eyes on not only media, but other partnerships and collaborations. So writing the book that really goes along with your brand specifically is normally the book that people look at you as an expert. You have a level of expertise, and you start hearing people ask you that question. over and over and over and over again. So I have a brand set, write, publish, and promote that book now. Why? Because people over and over again ask me, so how do I really get started? How do I start my book? Well, Julia, what are the publishing options? And how do I promote? I got this book and it's not moving. I'm not selling. So therefore, I had something on the small level, a book that people could get the intro, foundational tools, methods, strategies on that level. So as my business coach used to and still says, you need a small, medium, and large a product or service to sell. And that book is normally the entry level. It gives us the background of who you are, who you represent, what you think. So when you read my books, you should be getting into the brain of Julia Royston. I don't care if it's fictional. You know how I think. People that I've come in contact with. Because I tell people, don't talk to me too long, because I might get a story behind it. And I'll fictionalize it, and I'll protect your idea, and I'll protect your story. But don't tell me nothing too long, because I'll transform it and take it to the next level. So I'm really wanting people to be encouraged. My husband got a call just yesterday of a major corporation laying off 6,500 workers. Okay. So therefore, and right here, fourth quarter, headed to fourth quarter. So I'm always thinking of your writings could turn into a business, into something else, coaching. And so, people say, oh, child, that's just my side hustle. Well, we found out with COVID how side hustles and how it could benefit you. So having a book that goes along with your potential branding or next level branding can potentially, no guarantees, but potentially transform your life and existence. Who knew that one little poetry book and then that one yes in 2009 to somebody else would turn into where we are in 2024?
Yeah. Now you're 17. The festival is 17 years old, so you started the same year the festival started.
Oh, wow.
That's not the year we started this business. This business is 25 years old, but the festival came out of the book business we were doing already with retailing. Then we started doing marketing for office because they were asking us
right.
for
And then
marketing.
there you are.
And then they started saying, well, do you have any events that we can go to? And our author base was national.
Yeah.
So, I always think national. I never think local.
I don't either. I'm with you. I don't either.
The world. And with the internet, when we launched cushcity.com, it was when the internet first took off. So that really made it accessible to the whole country and the world.
Right.
You're not limited just geographically by what's around you anymore. But when you were talking about your building your brand and that your books reflect you, that is so true, because I have 15 books, but most of them are either about business or money. Even my children's books. My children's books are all about business for kids.
Right.
It's showing kids how you can do business.
Right.
Then I have the one with the biography, the Boss Women book is biographies of actual women who built their businesses, Black women. And then I have 2 books on economics. I have 1 book on, my most successful book is my book about going to college debt free with scholarships. That's a money. All of my books have something to do with money or business, just about. So that's what my heart is. That's what,
right.
That's who I am.
You built a business. I mean, you built businesses and events, things of that nature. So that's a part of not only your business brand, but also your personal brand. It's an offshoot of who you are. It's like people say all the time, why do you? I said, well, that's what I'm interested in. When I was 4 or 5 years old, they took me to the public library and I was a ravenous reader. Who knew I would be here? But that was birthed out of what was already in me. It's not like, you're trying to take a woman my size and make her a ballerina. No, we're not doing that. And I love the ballet and have been many times. But the point is, it's already a natural gifting and ability in me. When I talk about branding, I'm not talking about trying to turn you into an astronaut and you don't even like science. So I'm talking about something that's already innate in you. There's a gift inside of you, and that it can be not only something that you're passionate about, associated with your purpose, but can make you profitable.
Yeah, I'm thinking about writing a book about planning an event.
And what that looks like?
how to have a successful, and I don't know if I want a book event, make a book event, because I have so many people asking me, how do we do the festival? They really, it, it's been a lot of miracles and angels and
Vendors
grace and
and
all of that.
exhibitors wanted,
Vendors
guys,
and
to
exhibitors
events. That's
wanted.
what I'm working on right now. Because they
Well,
asked me, but I'm coming from a
yeah,
different angle. I'm not coming from the
yeah,
host perspective. I'm
okay,
coming from the not even book people, but I'm talking about the people that are replying. I'm talking about the people who complain about how many people came through and did you promote? Did you tell anybody?
That I
Did
say
you
that
share?
all the time.
okay,
You thought that
Did you
because
okay,
you
share?
went to a large
yeah,
book festival that you were just going to depend on all the traffic that came
Oh
through.
yeah, you
But
just
if
gonna show up like a
everybody
diva. And
has
here you
that
go,
same
ta-da.
attitude, if everybody who goes to the festival says, I'm not going to promote because there are going to be people coming through, that
Yeah.
means nobody's promoting and
No,
nobody knows that you're there.
that's
And you're
right.
expecting this person who is hosting the event, who's doing all of the logistics, who's communicating with media, who's communicating with everybody, and then trying to get volunteers. You want them to do all of the
You
marketing
want them
for
to
you
do
as
all
well.
the work. And I've hosted events too as well in malls, etc. And I know
Mhm.
that. Did you share? Because I'm looking at your page.
Right.
There are events who require an application who look at your social media before they say yes. They don't
Yep.
care if you do have the money to pay for the table. So
That's
that's,
true.
I had some people ask me, we don't know what we're doing at events. We don't know how to do it. I even mentioned about Canva. Like you create your own flyer. You create the flyer. Now, of course, National Black Book Festival gives us a whole template. So it's
yeah,
it's not no big deal. Plug your text in there, put your picture on it, and there you go. So
Mhm.
it's on different levels. But the important thing is before you do an event, you need to make sure that it's a two-way street. Same thing even
Yep.
with bookstores.
mhm,
I want my book on all the shelves. I'm like, okay, love, are you gonna promote and drive traffic to that bookstore? Or you
Hmm.
just gonna show up and think, where's my long line? Nobody came to my book. Did you promote it? Did you tell anybody you was gonna be
You didn't
there?
tell anybody you were
You
coming, boo
didn't even
boo.
produce a flyer? Did you go live? Did you do a video? Did you show people what's in the bookstore? Did you?
Now I'm gonna tell you, when I did my book signing at Mahogany Books, I posted it on Facebook. My books did not come on time. I could have easily called Mahogany and said, I'm not gonna come. My books didn't
Right.
come on time.
Yeah.
But I went out there anyway, and I was able to sign people to my email list.
Yes.
I was able to get people scheduled for my podcast. I was even able to sell a couple of courses.
Yes.
And I networked. I was invited to a couple of events to speak or to talk again or to speak or excuse me, to speak or to sign or what
Right.
have you. And I did all of that because I showed up. But if I had sat there like this,
I've seen too many do it. Seen too many of them do it. Seen too many of them do it.
nobody's going to want to come to your
No.
table
No.
because you have an attitude.
Right. And I tell people I travel a lot. Y'all know, y'all see me. I'm a lot of places, but I tell them I go for multiple reasons. There are multiple reasons why I attend events. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
I want to sell books. Yeah, I got books to sell. Believe you me, 128 combination of a whole lot. I do. But more than anything, I have a business that I want to grow.
right,
There are goals that I have that I'm
Yes.
61. I'm not getting no younger. So I have goals. I have places I want to be. And sometimes I need to be in that city, not just for that event, but for other businesses in that city. So you can't just track me everywhere I go and think, well, I didn't get the same. No, baby, because one, you're not me. And secondly, you got to understand what I'm there for. I'm there for
Right.
more reasons than that. That's one of the main reasons why I'm at National Black Book Festival. I feel like it's me. This is just me saying this. I've been in this business for 17 years. I feel like that a part of my duty is to give back and help others. That's a part of the experiences, good, bad, and ugly that I've had. But part of that is to give back. Yeah, I do know how to send you an invoice. Yep, I do know how to I do. But in at that place where where I've committed to for the last 3, 4, 5 years is
Yeah.
to make sure, because I was there in 2019 with
Yeah. Okay. So you were
Dr.
there,
Nettle.
and
That
then
was the first
you
time.
participated in the virtual too.
Yes, and virtual. So
Mm-hmm.
that is a part of what I feel like is a part of my give back to new authors, first time authors. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what to do. I read the emails, but I still had something in my mind, and I didn't bring so those kinds of things are a part of why I go and why I'm there and why I go to many events, is because I
Yeah.
feel like part of that is to be like author in residence, just a part of that to give back and help guide and help direct.
Well, we appreciate you doing that. And now see, my perspective on the book that I'm and I have an outline. I just don't know if when I'm gonna pull the trigger on it. But it's basically how to put on a large event
Yeah.
without losing your mind or your shirt.
Now that's the part that we need. We need that part too.
Yeah,
This is like bringing pens. People don't even bring the notebook. People don't even know how to bring up promotional items. They don't know about signage. What's the cover look like? How do you do that? The
and
cover of the
something else
table.
they don't
How
do.
to
Here's something else. If you don't have it in your book already, they don't bring change.
No, it's in there. I just finished that
because
page.
if you're doing transactions, you need to be able to make change. I mean, come
Page
on.
142.
And don't think that the organizers are gonna be a bank. And I tell people when they come up to the table. Can you change 100? We're not a bank, and there are banks in the area. That's where you need to go, or you need to bring some change to make change, because you do get a lot of people paying with cards.
Yes.
You still have a lot of people who pay with cash.
Well, the other piece is so if we want to network, like most of the people, I know we're gonna go, but most of the people, I can't purchase their book. I can't take all them books. I have 128 of my own. I can't purchase your book, but I interview you, right? On my 2 podcasts.
Okay.
Right? So I interview you, but you hand me a QR code. Okay, now I scan that, but there's still not and most of the QR codes go to buy the book, not to contact you.
Yeah.
How
No
do I
website, no Instagram.
no,
And if it does go to their Instagram page, it doesn't go to a link tree or
No.
something where you
Right.
can
Where you can
go to exactly what you're looking for.
Yes,
They
no.
don't tell anything about themselves.
And
And
I'm
sometimes all they're doing is posting
go to
cute
my
pictures of themselves.
baby, really? I'm gonna go to all these people, social media? No love. And you're gonna get an interview from me and a graphic and promotion and I don't know how to cut. No, love. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna do it. So
Right.
those kinds of things that I'm going from the very basic. Yes, Ms. Gwen, I need you to bring the other how to do the event.
Well, I have an outline. It's extensive.
Well, after this one, then look at
After
like when
this
it
one,
comes down in the holidays,
right.
January. Of course, where you are, it's not very cold, but where we
No.
are, that's when writing time is, isn't it, Dr. Rhonda? That's when we write. November, December, woo, January, it's snowing. Hey, we getting it
Let's
in.
not even talk about February. It's cold.
Ooh, baby.
Yeah,
We
see
getting
you
it in.
all, and we don't. Those are our good months.
Oh, I know.
November,
That's when y'all
December,
doing it.
January, February, March. That's when it's nice. Maybe a jacket. Sometimes not. Just depends. But we burn up in the summertime.
Well, I know. Everybody was burning up this year.
And
But I
when
look
you
forward
come to
to
the
it.
festival, it will be about 80 degrees.
Yeah,
In
be ready for
October, middle of October is 80 degrees. So, and we send out the email letting people know that.
Oh, that's
But
another
do
thing.
they
You need to look at your
read?
email. How
Yeah,
about that? And check the spam folder because it might be in there.
that's true. But do they read the emails that you
Okay,
send
that's
out?
a whole nother show. I
Okay.
gotta go because I got my girls coming up next.
See, and then y'all wonder why I keep my Black History Month event small. I don't want to deal with all of that.
No.
Not
If
only
do
do
an
I keep
event,
it small,
I want 25, 50 max, maybe. But
that's too
25
many
kind of my
too.
number.
I, I'm
About 25 is my optimal number.
Yeah, my patience is down here. So so I deal with just a few people and I'm invite only because I
Yeah,
don't want to have to keep explaining over
Yeah.
and over again what's going on.
It's
I
a
know.
challenge. We sold out 2 months ago. And every day since then, if I get 4 or 5 people who say, what can you do? How can I get in? You can't. We had to cut it off because
Yeah.
it was just, we couldn't take any more people.
Well, they just need to plan
And
for next year, and they need to jump
yeah,
in.
I tell them that plan for next year and the
Jump in
dates for
early.
next year already. And we open registration January 1st. And so just be ready. Don't wait. Don't procrastinate. That's what
No,
some people do. They procrastinate and they wait till June. By June, we're like 85% full. So you can't wait. And you save money if you sign up early. It's so much cheaper and stress-free.
I try to
And
tell them, but they don't listen.
yeah. Well, anyway, Julia, good to see you. We'll see you next month.
Yes, ma'am.
Festival. And until then, keep writing and publishing those books.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Okay. Have a great evening.
You
Thank
too.
you.
Okay, so we're at the final interview for tonight, and it's another publisher that has been to the last several book festivals, and she's a friend of the show, and her authors come on the show, and her name is Shenitha Burton, and welcome back for those who don't know you, they should know you, but welcome back to Black Authors Matter TV. And
Hey,
hey, how are things going?
great. It is good to be here. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, you always have a big smile. And we're looking forward to seeing you and your authors you're bringing with you again this year. Now, are you bringing the same people you brought last year, or are you bringing different people?
We have some people, we have some new people coming with us. We do
Okay,
have some new people, and we have some people that will be returning.
okay.
You
All
know,
right.
we got to kick it with our Black Authors Matter fam, okay? So
Okay,
we gonna be there.
okay. So give us an update on She Publishing and what you've been doing since, for the last year.
All right, yeah, there's a lot of little things that has been happening. We continue to sign new authors. We have a class of 2024 already. We maybe have signed maybe 8, 9 new authors. So I'm super excited about the projects that are coming out. We have some amazing projects coming out between this month and next month. I actually have some of the children's books that are coming out this month. One is called Broken Crayons. It
Okay.
is about
Beautiful cover.
bullies. And this is from authored by one of our authors from the Little She Project. His name is Carter, him and his grandmother. Good Night, My Blessing by Glow Rose is another book that is actually coming out. The books are not out yet, but we got them already printed off the press. And then The Magical Garden of Imagination. We are really promoting our children's books and authors from our Little She Project. So the Little She Project is a nonprofit that we started. And so we want to give back. That's one of our initiatives. So we do a writing challenge every year, and we publish a book free of charge for the child who wins the writing challenge. And this year we have partnered with Be the Miracle. They're also a nonprofit foundation. And so we are partnering with them to do this challenge this year. And we will be awarding an author a free publication this month, actually, September 28th.
Oh,
Nice.
that's amazing. So is there an age range for the child author that you all allowed to submit for the application process?
Yes, so it is from elementary school all the way to high school.
Okay.
So it's a range. And so I want the viewers, I want them to subscribe to our B&B newsletter mag, because they will have an opportunity to see when these challenges come up. and any child can participate. And that is www.newslettermag.com. Or they can just go to our website, www.shepublishingllc.com. But yeah, we are really, wanting to give back to our community.
Okay, because
That is amazing.
It is. Were you doing children's books last year? In
Yeah.
this area? You were? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
we were.
Okay. Because I didn't know. I don't know if we've interviewed any of your children's authors on the show.
No, but you look, when we get the opportunity, we're gonna send them through.
Okay.
We've been sending a lot of our adult authors.
Mhm.
And you guys have interviewed them. So they have, I'm telling you, these adult books, these are adult memoirs that are coming out too.
Mhm.
Absolutely amazing. You guys interviewed one of our authors, Star Rebel. You interviewed her,
Yes.
I believe, at some point, and she has an amazing book coming out next month. So
Okay. Yes, well, I remember her. Because wasn't Rebel in her book title?
yeah.
Something? Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. I remember.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So when did you start She Publishing? How
Uh,
old is your company?
it is 4 years old, actually. 2020
You
is
have done a lot in 4 years.
yes. It was COVID, and
COVID
there
did a
are
lot of stuff for a lot. COVID was responsible for a lot of creative projects that people birthed when they were shut in.
true. It is the truth, and I'm telling you, I tell people, if you'd asked me 5 years ago if I was going to be a publisher, I would have said no. Didn't even really like reading books. Okay, no. But it amazes me how the different things that happen in our lives lead us to where we are today.
They do.
So it's definitely been an amazing journey, and not to mention just to meet others in the literary community, the literary forum. That's what makes it even more sweet. I do want to say, when we come there, I will actually be promoting one of my books, which
Oh,
is titled
okay.
From Projects to Publisher. And this is that
Okay.
book.
Okay.
And literally, I grew up in the Robert Taylor Project home. So projects to me stands for two things: growing up in the Robert Taylor Project homes, but also the projects that I have had the opportunity to publish.
Okay.
So, and
It's a play on words in a way. Um,
exactly.
and Robert Taylor Holmes is it's really famous. Um, I've been to Chicago. I've never been to the Robert Taylor Homes, but it's been in movies and TV shows, kind of like folklore almost.
Yes. Yeah, so there's a history behind it. And I'm like, it wasn't until this year that I'm like, hold up. I did grow up in the Robert Taylor Project homes. I was one of those little girls who had a dream, and believed in that dream, of actually going into the federal government, not even being a publisher. But yeah, so the book is actually, it is for publishers. I have publisher friends. You guys know I have sister publishing companies. We have two of our sister publishing companies who's coming to the National Black Book Festival as well. But it's also for anybody who's published a book. I am not only telling some of the things that I've done to get where we are in this little time, but also just telling the emotional and things that I have had to do mentally to keep going. We may go through these challenges and great things, but what keeps you motivated? What is your mindset? What keeps you moving forward? And so one of my quotes, because I love quotes, one of my quotes is, write the book you want to read. Write the book that's going to inspire you, because it will inspire others.
Yeah, and this when you're entrepreneurial, it's a different way of thinking. It's a different mindset. It's a different lifestyle. And sometimes you need to bounce ideas off of people who are in the same space. Because if you're not in this space, you really can't relate to what a person who has to make decisions and make payroll and things like that, have the overhead, and it's different. And a lot of people think when you're in business, you have a like a is you have a bucket on the floor that has money in it, and it's constantly somebody is on the bottom of the bucket pushing dollars up to you, and it's a never ending flow of money. No, that's the opposite. It's, the money is flowing out. You need to figure out how to keep some of it.
Exactly. And you might have that bucket full of money, but there's 10 people trying to figure out how to take that money out that bucket.
Yeah, or you just have obligations. You have overhead. If you have a business, you have overhead. Your overhead might be big or small, medium, or large.
And I'll say that's especially true for you, Gwen, because people see the amount of authors who sign up for this event. And they know that each of the authors who signed up for the event had to pay a registration fee. So they're thinking that you're making hand over fist. They're seeing that, okay, well, she's doing this event at her church, so they're giving her the building for free. She's making all this money. And they don't realize the amount of overhead that goes with hosting such a large event. My event is not as large as yours, but people don't always realize the amount of overhead that goes with my event. I mean, because I take care of logistics, I take care of the venue, the meal. I create graphics for each of the authors, and people don't realize the amount of work, the amount of time, and the amount of money that goes into an event. So for me, that's, I think, the worst part for me, because I sell tickets for my event. And then when people wait till the last minute to buy a ticket for the event, and then they get to the event and say, well, why they don't have this? And why they don't have that? I'd be like, well, I could have had this and that if you had bought your ticket last month when I told you about it.
Exactly. Exactly.
We that's why we have graduated time schedule, so that the costs of the event are not dependent on the tickets, the attendees, because it is free and open to the public, but then we have our packages that people can purchase if they want to do more, if they want to get the full experience. So, but the costs are massive for the National Black Book Festival. It's a massive and when people text me or email me or message me on social media and say, when are you going to bring the festival to X? You can fill in the blank, whatever city that is. Tell them never. Because the event doesn't travel unless you're going to write me a check for $50,000.
Yeah.
And then that still wouldn't cover it, but we could talk. They don't get it. So then
people don't get it. They just don't realize the amount of work, the amount of overhead that goes into an event. Like I said, with your event being as big as it is, I feel bad for you, because people think that because this is a huge event that you've made $50,000 off of the event.
Exactly.
I do 5 jobs. I tell people, if it wasn't for the 5 jobs that I do, this event would not happen. And they're 5 major jobs. All the marketing. I'm not gonna tell everything I do, but just if I had to pay myself for what I do or pay somebody else for what I do, the event could not happen. And so I do it out of passion. I've always wanted to have high quality events that Black people can be proud of and that highlight our success in the literary world. And when people come, when people come and they walk in and they see all of the authors, they're just blown away. because most of them had no idea that, and this is just a small segment of the large community of African American literature, especially these days when people can indie publish, they can be with a small press like yours, Shenitha. So it's thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of Black authors, but sometimes seeing is believing. So the attendees are always blown away by just the whole thing. And a lot of people leave there and they come back the next year having published a book because they're so inspired by just being there.
Yeah, I wanted to jump in on that conversation you guys were having with Royster about you writing this event book, because I remember you talking about that too. And yeah, people don't understand, like all of us have events and it takes, it's a lot and people don't realize it's a lot. I remember when I had my first conference, that there was no I think I didn't make any money for that event. The second event maybe I broke halfway or something. But yeah, it's a lot of hard work. It's a lot that you do. I'm ready to jump on a cruise next year, but that's all I'm gonna say. But people are planning events. And Dr. Rhonda, she must didn't hear what I just said about wanting to get on the cruise next year. Okay, but I ain't gonna say nothing.
We're working on it. We're working on it.
Oh, okay. But yeah, so I truly, I'm like, this events book, it would be really great because what you do, I don't do to that magnitude. Like, I don't even know how you do it. And, when people give feedback, they not realizing from the perspective of the organizer, everything that you've had to do. And if you got your ticket at the last minute or whatever case may be, but to be able to relate, I'm just piggybacking off of what you saying about being able to relate. That's one of the reasons why I created sister companies. I am the only child. So I created that circle for me of women, other women or other publishers who I could talk to and relate to. And so creating the sister companies that we have, that's the reason I did that. But not to mention coming to your events, I've been able to meet other publishers like Royster. I remember the first time I met her in Indianapolis, Indiana. We were invited to speak to the group they brought together, the group of authors they brought together. And that was my first time meeting her. And it was like to just have someone else, another publisher to talk to and to say, oh man, okay, good. Okay, I'm not the only going through that.
Right.
Whatever
Right.
the case may be. So, it's great to be able to relate to others because that keeps us inspired as well. That keeps us going. And I'm glad that you continue to do the Black Authors Matter TV and the National Black Book Festival because it gives us an opportunity to, fellowship with each other as well. So it's not just about selling books, and let me see what my mother told me. Success comes before the word work in the dictionary only. Okay. You gotta work. You gotta do something. Okay.
Yeah.
You can't just think a book is gonna sell. You can't, you gotta go on interviews. Sometimes you do gotta pay to come on interviews. This is all for your investment.
Yeah, it's true. And even people, nothing is free. This is that somebody said one time they asked somebody the sum total of the wisdom of the world, if you could encapsulate it in one sentence, nothing is free. If somebody is paying, and if you think you're going to get something for free, somebody has paid already for whatever it is, or you're going to end up paying on the back end, or they're not telling you the truth.
Yeah.
Nothing is free because whoever's doing the work for whatever it is has to be paid. And so, and it's really unfair to expect people to not be paid. you know. So, but you do the work out of. I'm I'm always I'm always exhausted at the end of the event, but I'm also I can say this is something that big that we've been able to keep going for 17 years.
Amen.
Congratulations.
That's not, and even during COVID, we did it virtually for 2 years virtually, where we did it for 2.5 days virtually. And this show came out of COVID. So this show was started because we couldn't do the event because of COVID. And so, we said we need to have a way to still keep the name out there and stay in the industry and keep it going. And it blossomed, and then it came out in July 2020, and we recently celebrated our 4th anniversary, and we've interviewed almost 700 people. I was looking at the calendar to see when we're at 675 right now. So the 700 is not far off. And so
Wonderful.
yeah, it's been great. And I will say Rhonda has really become my ride or die chick. We not only do we do the show, but we've gone on the road now. And when in New Orleans, we just came back from New York, and we're going to be going somewhere else. Oh, next year we're going to Atlanta for sure.
Yep.
For the National Book Club Conference. And
one of these days I'm gonna get her to DC.
I am
right. What's up, Pat? Gwen, why you been to DC?
Because the first quarter is always a tough quarter. That's when the event is. But I'm planning the first quarter of the year for business wise is always the tightest quarter. So for me. So but it's in my plan for next year. It's in there. So I'm hoping, and see, and then and it's cold, so I have to make sure I have clothes and everything.
Yeah.
I don't wear cold weather clothes here. Even the coat, I bought a coat. When did I buy that coat? And it's a nice coat. It's the down
It
coat.
wasn't that cold when you came to DC, was it?
It was not. And that's why I was trying to think like,
but you live in Chicago. So
but you're right.
She'd be freezing. She's in Houston.
Windy City, you got
yeah, and I've been to Chicago in the wintertime. But anyway, I bought a coat. I bought that coat for sale, and I always buy them on sale because we don't wear coats. I have worn that coat one time in 3 years, and see, in another year or two, I'm gonna need to buy another coat so I can be in style when I go somewhere cold. It's funny. Anyway, but I do have a plan, Rhonda. I do have a plan to come.
Okay.
You got to get out there to DC with us because I love the Literary Black Book Festival. It's been nice.
Right. I was gonna come in 2020 to the Zeta conference, the Zeta Boulé, and then COVID happened. So that got canceled. So I haven't been able to get back there.
We did go to Philadelphia in 2022.
We did. We went to Philly. It was in the summertime, though.
Yes.
So well then Gwen probably ain't coming to the Chi-Town.
If I come to Chicago, it's gonna be in the summertime.
Oh man.
It's not gonna be in the wintertime because y'all have some serious cold weather, and I don't have all those layers and all the boots and scarves and hats and muffs and gloves, and you have to wear 3 layers of clothes. So, but in the last 5 minutes we have, tell us about, you're going to be participating in the publishers panel at the festival. So just give us a little tidbit about what you're going to be sharing on the publishers panel.
Yeah, well, for sure, I'm going to be sharing this from Publishers to Projects. I said from publisher to projects, from projects to
From
publisher. I
Publisher's
am
project.
the publisher might send you to the project.
I know, right?
Anyway, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm gonna be sharing some tips for authors because there are a lot of self-published authors at the event. So just sharing with them some of my do's and don'ts, some of the mistakes I made, some of the things I do now, and then also just to introduce them to what the world could be in having a publisher, and the services that we can provide. A lot of our authors, they're not just publishing with us because they want to publish a book. It's they believe in what the community, the literary community we are trying to build. They believe in the support. They believe in the things that we're doing. So just to share with them our side and our perspective of publishing, and also to help them, we could be a support to them even if they don't choose to go with a publisher. We have a whole team that we bring together for them. We throw yearly author events for them. But yeah, again, we'll just share with them some of the tricks and tips of this book, and then just to also, again, share with them what we do and how we do.
Okay. And I think like every year you come, somebody ends up publishing with you. At least one or two people end up publishing with you. You and Julia both.
That's true. That is true.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, actually, yeah. I think I think we have maybe we've been there maybe 3 years, 3 or 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And we have about 3 authors that we've published from the National Black Book Festival. Yes.
Yeah, because
I think part of it too is because not just because you're a good publisher, which you are, but the fact that you all treat each other like family and you cheer each other on and you get along with each other. And that is something I know Mark told me touched him. And that was why he wanted to sign with you, because he wanted to be a part of that village, of the way that y'all love on each other. And I think that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, being a part of something that's huge. Actually, I'm gonna be talking to Mark in a minute after this, but yeah, it's a whole family, and we want to support. It's just like joining a sorority or fraternity. Not that we're that, but you join a sorority and fraternity because you want to offer what you can and to be a part of something as well, something bigger than yourself. And so that's what this company has been.
Yeah. Well, we look forward to seeing you next month, and your crew that you bring with you. And it's going to be a great event this year. Once again, we're so excited about it. It's going to actually be the biggest festival that we've had in terms of authors.
I will say one thing.
Okay.
Anybody who wants a copy of this book, I do have a code, NBBF. NBBF. If you use that code between today and Friday, you can get the book free shipping as well as an autographed copy. So for anyone who would like to use that code and get free shipping, just in case you're not going to be at the National Black Book Festival.
Okay. Well, congratulations on your new book, and just your continued success with S.H.E Publishing.
All right. Thank you for having me, and see you next month.
Okay. Have a great night.
Bye.
Tell Mark hello.
Will do.
Okay.
And I want to go on a cruise next year. Okay.
Okay.
All right. You're gonna hear from me late tomorrow, okay?
Okay.
Okay. All right.
She's so funny.
Everybody, that's the show for this week. And it was another amazing lineup. And we'll be looking forward to next week's show. And we hope you return and share it with us. I'm Gwen Richardson signing off for tonight.
And I'm Dr. Rhonda Lawson. Have a wonderful evening and a great week.
Thank you for tuning in, and join us next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern for another edition of Black Authors Matter TV.